Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Libra July 12, 2022. It's not the best day for sensitive topics, as it's hard to see the intention behind the words, and there's a tendency to see the flaws more than the benefits of a situation. What you say has more impact and possibly can attract some critique. You could feel so bogged down with routine matters that you cannot use your talents effectively. But as the day advances, there can be some fantastic moments of inspiration and a sense of advancement. A nice change in your routine can pull up the need to improvise, which can be fun or lead to interesting detours. A Sun-Uranus harmonious aspect can point the way to channels for expressing yourself. Innovative methods for doing business or advancing your goals can pop up now. Your romantic life could be on your mind today. You might be eager for the workday to end so that you can go and spend some time with your sweetheart. Or you could be thinking about how to ask someone out on a date. You'll definitely be in the mood to be cozy and intimate with someone this evening, so make your plans accordingly. It should be a great night to connect with a special person. Speak up with assertion. Typically, you tend to be somewhat passive as you like to be on board with everyone else at work. But this may not be the case today since Mercury in Cancer squares Jupiter in Aries. You could feel more outspoken than usual, especially since the square feels emotionally reactive and inspired. So, you may find yourself taking a stand with your colleagues, clients, and business partners. It could be related to nurturing your career path or even an accomplishment that could be nurtured through commitment. Is there some material need weighing on your spirit right now? If you can't see how to solve the problem alone, why not discuss it with your friends? They may have some ideas. Today, the word impossible has been banished from the English language. Take advantage of the opportunity and look for solutions in unlikely places. You are at peace with yourself. Friends and family have noticed this, reacting very positively, and you will return these sentiments. It's time to enjoy life with family and friends and to plan leisure activities together. Always bear in mind that these special moments are very rare and precious. You're in the mood for some serious social action. It's not all about romance, though you've just got an itch to talk with humans and look them in the eye. Indulge it. You feel attractive and reveal your seductive approach with the captivating way you engage others in conversation. You receive admiring looks of approval from the people that matter most to you. If you want, you're easily able to get the attention of new partners who find your eye-catching behavior irresistible. You might find today that you must make the choice between telling the truth and lying. In some circumstances, this can be a difficult choice to make, especially if you're afraid you'll hurt someone's feelings. Keep in mind, though, that a lie can take far more energy than the truth. Consider yourself. What would you want the other person to do in your place? Stick to your moral ethics, even though it's tough to do. If you're holding yourself back, it is apt to be painfully obvious on this day. A love of routine, practicality, and a methodical approach to life can work well for you when most of the time. However, it can also become too restrictive. If you begin to feel irritable, unsatisfied, or just plain unhappy, take a cue from this. It may be time that you allowed yourself to explore more possibilities. This may be unsettling, but it may also be a risk well worth taking. While a friendly aspect between forces on the income and job fronts that has been building for days finally peaks, this is just the first of 6 between now and the end of the week. Involving forces from across the income, work, and career fronts, things are not only coming together now, but just as the Sun is spending his first and Mercury his first, last, and only full week in your career sector. The only challenge over the coming days will be to pace yourself. A week after Mars left your relationship sector, and with the remaining 3 planets all slowing ahead of retrograde turns, the Moon wraps up what could be a defining visit to your communication sector. After a friendly aspect to Jupiter in your relationship sector yesterday, the Moon is spending its final hours at the same aspect to the dwarf planet Eris, with the warrior princess of the cosmos better able to push through communication barriers. Our eyes in the sky. When you wake up feisty and wanting to do your own thing, you can blame it on the rebellious fixed lunar T-square between ambitious Saturn and Uranus, the planet of shaking things up. There are inevitable challenges during this cosmic three-way that will have you digging into your own opinions and convictions and wanting to stand your ground even further, which can push arguments, altercations, and confrontations to some pretty epic levels. Which is fine if you live alone and don't have to deal with anyone. But if you have to make your way into the world to get along with and listen to people in positions of authority during this controlling planetary energy, there are ways to work with this polarizing square-off. Backing down won't be on your radar, but taking a more logical perspective might help you combat your need to be right about everything. Because even you can admit that isn't realistic, right? A helpful aspect between Lady Luna and optimistic Jupiter brings a lighter energy to the party, putting us all in the mood to show compassion and celebrate one another. Your psychic abilities could be on fire right now as well, making it the ideal time to bust out your pendulum or tarot cards. Just remember to take cleansing breaths if you happen to encounter anyone with less than ideal vibes. In the morning, the Sagittarius moon forms a trine with the Cancer sun, offering a harmonious start to the day. Because our ego and emotions are in sync, we exude confidence in our relationships. Still waters run deep with the moon in penetrative Sagittarius, so although this influence favors socializing, we'll prefer to spend our time with those who we know well and trust. We're unafraid of going into taboo territory, eager to understand what makes others tick. Remember your objectives. If we don't retain anything to sustain ourselves, we are giving from an empty cup. Following this, the moon opposes Uranus in Taurus, stimulating anxiety. We are suddenly struck with the urge to break from the status quo, and our behavior can seem bizarre to those around us. Be aware that acting on our passions and making rash decisions can have certain consequences, especially if we let fears steer our course. Instead, consider how opening ourselves up to change with temperance in mind can be transformative and productive. Yet, much of the hurt inflicted upon ourselves now is the byproduct of being unwilling to stand in our truth. Addictions to substances or relationships will be especially difficult to navigate now. Ultimately, the issues unearthed during this connection cannot be swept under the rug, so it is valuable, however challenging in the moment, to deal with their exposure.